Aaron, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. How are you doing and how's your isolation going?
Um, I'm good, and surprisingly, I've never been more busy in my life.
Isn't that weird? Because same, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to keep myself busy. So it's very strange, but we all have to do what we have to do. So I'm glad you're doing okay. This kind of, I guess, put a little bit of a wrench though in your promotion of the film, or do you find that now it's easier to promote it because people can sit and talk to you about it from their homes?
It's a complicated thing because, I was like, it's always been my dream to make a feature film that has a national distribution. So, and that ended up not having, that didn't happen obviously because of COVID. But there's a silver lining. I think that we got to go straight to digital platforms,
Yeah.
and most people. We always knew that most people were going to watch this film online rather than in the theater, because small indie films like this, especially a romantic comedy, would never do well in the theaters. That's like relatively well. They might be in the theater for like a week or two, and then that'd be it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, I watched it on Amazon. I thought you did such a wonderful, wonderful job with this film. It just was so heart-wrenching. It was funny. There was just so many elements to it. I know it was a major passion project for you. It's a very, very personal story. When did you actually sit down and decide, okay, I'm going to put this all on the page and tell my story in a way?
Right. I get this question. I think I always tell people that it started from day one. The moment I decided to write a feature screenplay, I was like, I'm decided to make the movie.
Mhm.
I hadn't decided yet necessarily if I was going to star in it or act in it, but I definitely knew I was going to write and direct it. Even though I had never written a feature script before, but this is the first time for everything.
Sure.
Also, it didn't really feel like a passion project. It just, because, I mean, yes, it is, but not really, because it really honestly felt like I had to tell my story. And I didn't know what the story was yet. When I started, I didn't know what it was. I didn't actually know it was going to be loosely autobiographical, but I forgot what I was saying.
No, it's okay. It just because like we'll go into something that you just hit me when you were talking. Because yes, you wrote it, you starred in it, you directed it, you produced it. You pretty much did everything for this film for your very first effort. That's pretty amazing.
George LeVoux is a great producer. George LeVoux produced the film.
Yeah.
I wrote, directed, and played lead actor and edited the film. I didn't.
Right. Okay.
I didn't produce it.
Okay, but you still have pretty final say on everything that went down there, and I just hats off to you, because that's a huge undertaking for a first time director. How scared were you, or did you just kind of leap in and not think about anything else other than getting this done?
The most scary part was in the writing and the acting. In the writing, I had to, after 3 or 4 months of writing the script, all I'd written were just like sort of pages of scenes that didn't really relate,
Mm-hmm.
and it was all bad writing, which just happens to everyone.
Sure.
I got so depressed that because of it, that I wasn't moving or talking, but I agreed to voluntarily check myself into a psych ward to
Wow.
receive ECT 3 times a week for a couple of months. ECT stands for electroconvulsive therapy,
Wow.
where they like shock your brain into being less depressed, and you have to do it 3 times a week, and like you have to do it like 12 to 20 times, and it's not fun. It's not fun. You also lose some of your like short-term memory. And what was the question again?
No, it's okay. No, listen, this is fascinating.
Sorry.
Just about it being your first time and doing all of this stuff, and this is the first time I've heard you talk about this.
Yeah, and when I got out of the hospital, the basic very like basic hint of a premise came to me, which was the school hearing
Yeah.
that he's trying to prove his innocence at. That led, because I didn't know who the love interest was either, but I figured that out. That was also loosely autobiographical. So I combined like the two things and made it like compressed it. It's like one movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just talking about being bipolar, and I am sure that there are so many people out there who are watching or who have watched this film or will watch this film will feel a very close connection to you and to this story. And I'm wondering, what kind of reactions have you gotten from people who have seen the film and who maybe experience what you have experienced?
Sorry. So the question is, what did you?
Just about sharing your story about bipolar and depression and everything. What kind of reaction have you gotten from people who have already seen this film?
Right.
And has it helped them, or they feel connected to you?
Yeah. We did a lot of film festivals around the country. I did Q&As, and also people would come up to me outside the theater. One girl came up to me. She said, "Thank you so much for making this film." And then she started sobbing, and then she says, like, the story is so important to tell. And when I saw that, I was like, I honestly, I didn't think my film was going to be like a voice for people with bipolar or mental health advocates or other mental illnesses, but the movie has taken on sort of it is sort of providing a voice for people who didn't have a voice.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I had no idea that was going to happen. I just happened to be bipolar, and the film was loosely autobiographical.
Right.
My character happened to be bipolar, but I didn't want the film to be about bipolar illness.
Yeah, I understood, but we see that he is just a guy who's just trying to live his life and trying to be normal, who has it, and I think that is what is connecting with people, because they want to be able to say, hey, I'm going through this too, but I can see that I just want to try and get on with my life. I want to make a movie. I want to write a book. I want to do whatever. So hats off to you for doing that, because I think it's really important.
Thank you. I just wanted to add, and because I haven't said this in any interviews, I think the love story, Ellen Toland's portrayal of Emma Taylor, is really great. And it's loosely autobiographical. I actually did fall in love with a sex worker. I met her through like a, just mainstream dating website. I didn't even know she was like a model and all this stuff. I did porn. I had no idea. It was just it was just from a regular dating site. And I realized that she was like a normal, smart, intelligent, charismatic. She was just very charismatic, very smart. And it's not like she couldn't have done some other job,
Right.
So I was thinking, wow, I mean, there are people out there who want to be sex workers. And I know that sounds crazy because most women would never want to do that, but there are some women who do.
Yeah.
They often have like, traumatic paths. I'm told, like, they've had traumatic childhoods, but the fact that they're doing the sex work is not immoral. Like, they might be doing sex work because they had a traumatic childhood, but the idea that their work is not legitimate and immoral is, to me, is a form of hatred.
Right. Yeah, it's really interesting, really interesting. But listen, I thank you for this movie. I think you did a fantastic job. You get a couple of Oscar nominees, first try. The guy who plays your dad, who I loved watching him on Nurse Jackie, he played Eddie. Oh my God, he's so great. You had some good actors in here. What was it like working with them? And somebody like Eric Roberts, like, I know he was only in for a day, but he really stepped it up in this role, and he's just a delight to watch.
Eric Roberts always like downplays his role in this movie. Got a really tiny part. I was only for a day, even though he was with us for a week, and we were. He's a really important role in the film. He's very it's very significant, memorable role. It's
Yeah.
not, and it wasn't like he didn't have any screen time either. He was actually has a good amount of screen time.
Yeah.
He was on set for many days. But what was it like to work with all these actors? That were
Yeah.
great?
And what do they bring to the table? Like, do they offer you advice, or do they just take the direction from you?
I was kind of surprised that like these, actors who've been working, they've been working a long time, and they're like they've mastered their art.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was gonna get like, not necessarily, but I thought mostly like I was gonna be talking to the actors more about different things. But it was more like, hey, I have an idea. Let me try this. I'll try this out. I'm like, all right. It was just kind of like a lot of back and forth collaboration.
Mm.
It wasn't like how it is in like film school, and you're directing a scene for the class and you're like learning how to direct. So you obviously like try a lot of things because you have to try to get good at it.
Yeah.
But the better the actors are, the smoother the ride is.
I'm sure. Yeah, no, listen, you can't ask for a better cast in this. Everybody did such a great job. And I really, again, want to congratulate you on the job that you did. To me, it seemed seamless watching it. It was very enjoyable and, really well done. So what's next? Are you spending your time at home just writing and, thinking about your next project?
I am I'm doing research right now. I ordered 60 sci-fi novels from Amazon.
Oh, cool.
Like a month and a half before the pandemic. So I'm trying to read through all of those, and I'm trying to watch as many movies as I can that, classic movies I've never seen.
Mm-hmm.
And so in a way, I'm actually more busy than I've ever been. Like I said, during this quarantine now, because I have to read. I'm reading all this. I'm a slow reader, reading in science fiction books, watching the movies, working out daily in my apartment, and what was the other thing? Oh, and now I'm doing acting coaching via Zoom with my New York City acting coach 3 times a week, and it's a lot of work. There's a lot of homework.
I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of homework but he's a great teacher. That's why I'm working with him now.
Good stuff. Well, congratulations to you, Aaron. It's such a delight to have a chance.
But I do want to say that it hasn't been all fun, and like I procrastinate so much.
Well, who doesn't? Come on.
Yeah, I know, in my apartment. So I make it sound like I'm doing all these things and like I don't stop. That I have to. Sometimes I play video games.
Hey, I'd be surprised if you didn't. I can't even tell you how much television I watch, and I keep trying to walk away from my TV, and I'm like, I gotta focus, But listen, just take your time, my friend. You are really doing a great job. I can't wait to see your next offering, and then maybe in about a year or so from now, we'll have you debut something at the Toronto International Film Festival, and then I can meet you in person. So that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, Aaron. I really appreciate it.